All right, thank you, everybody. We're going to get started. We only have 3 to review today, and then some words from myself and some words from Chuck. I'm Erin Conley. I am the chair of this commission for the Equal Opportunity Review Commission. It's 12:04. Let's get started. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes from last month? Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes.
All right, thank you, Tracy. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thanks, Jenna. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Do we have all 5?
Do we have all 5, Posner?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
Okay.
because I can't see.
We can't see you, Posner. So you
I
have to
can't
let
see
us
the participants, which is making me a little nuts. Okay, all right, well, let's move on to the first plan here. It is Irvine Street critical sidewalk gaps. This is a DOMI project. Michael said he's on the line. Michael Panzita, can we hear from you?
Sure. So yeah, sorry, this is my first time coming to ERC. You're looking for like a kind of a scope of work for the project. Is that the?
You know what, Michael, we don't really like to get into those details. Would be here till 2 o'clock if we went over every project, but we would like to know just a little bit about how you got your participation. If you could talk about your participation, the companies that, so on and so forth.
Sure. Yeah, I guess we'll just quick. It's essentially just a sidewalk project, sidewalk construction in Hazelwood, between Hazelwood Ave and Greenfield Ave. Yeah, when the contractor's bid came back, I believe they'd reached out to a pretty sizable list of contacts. I assume it's the standard one that comes from Chuck and his group.
Yeah.
And I believe that they heard back from enough to get 22.04% participation from MBEs, but 0.66% from WBEs per the submission that they put in.
Okay, what does Rayland Enterprise Inc., what part of the contract are they going to perform?
They are providing the signage for the maintenance of traffic.
Okay, so that's pretty decent portion. Okay. What about Reed Building Supply?
I believe that they are supplying construction materials. Yeah, they're one of the suppliers.
Okay. All right, well, this participation is pretty good, so I don't have too many qualms about it. Commissioners, does anybody have any questions for Michael? No? I can't see you guys if you're nodding your head.
This is Tracy. I have no questions.
Okay. All right, then can I get a motion, please?
Sarah Siegel, I move to approve.
Great. Can I get a second?
This is Tracy McCants Lewis. I second.
Perfect. All in favor indicate by raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Tracy McCants Lewis. Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Perfect.
Sandra, aye.
Thank you, guys. Or gals, I should say. Applaus, do you have enough for it to pass?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Michael.
No, thank you guys. I'll reach out to Chuck with next steps. Yeah, thanks.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. Okay, the second is Hamilton Homewood Traffic Signal Replacement. This is another DOMI project and another Michael project. Michael Malak?
Hey, good morning. This is Mike Mallock.
Malak, thank you, Mike.
No
and
problem.
Sergeant Electric has a representative on the call today as well.
Okay.
Okay, so what's interesting about this one, participation wise, is that there isn't any MBE participation, but we do have a nice percentage of veteran-owned participation, which doesn't really get counted here. It's appreciated, don't get me wrong, but Michael, I'd like to, well, I guess I should direct this to the representative from Sergeant Electric. What was the problem with the MBE? Why did you struggle to get participation in the MBE side?
We just couldn't get a vendor on board with us on this, but in the meantime, we did come up with a concrete supply vendor that we will be able to get labor and materials off of, which is Pittsburgh Mobile. We use them all the time and really didn't even realize they were an MBE. So we will be able to actually give an MBE amount once we get started here.
Okay, do you have a ballpark of what the participation percentage would be that they would get out of the contract?
I'd be guessing, I'd say about less than 5%.
Okay, well, it's better than that.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah. You know, a 0% is always a red flag. I mean, 5% is great. You know that the goal is way higher than that. Do you think there's anything towards the end of the project that you could possibly sub out to a minority-owned business?
Unfortunately, since we didn't have a minority sub involved with work with us, probably not at this time. But going forward, we're definitely looking into those options.
Okay, so excuse me, the veteran-owned business are they a minority or women-owned business as well, and just chose the veteran-owned?
The veteran-owned is 100% is a full veteran disabled contractor. So we plan on using them for all our concrete work and everything. So I can probably see if they can get some Pittsburgh Mobile in there as well for some of their concrete work. So.
Okay. All right, commissioners, does anybody have any questions?
This is Tracy. So there's no opportunity for any type of like after work, any type of cleanup or anything like that could be given to an MBE with regard to this project?
The only problem is that I just didn't have that type of markup into the quote at this time. So.
Has this project already started?
No, it is not.
Okay. I don't have any further.
Yeah. All right, can I get Michael from Domi on to, Michael, yeah, okay, so I don't know, this is a little bit confusing. But I like the veteran-owned participation, but understand that that's not something that this commission recognizes as participation currently. We, should have marketed it towards MBE and been able to show a good faith effort that you reached out. The fact that it's a construction project makes it very difficult for us to approve it, because customarily in construction projects, you can get participation if not exceed the goals. So I just don't understand how this was, how it was published, how you advertised that you weren't able to get more minority-owned business participation. If you could answer some of those questions, then we may be able to approve this, but it's not looking good right now. So I'd like to hear what you have to say about it.
No, understandable. It was advertised as, following the same, through our Office of Management and Budget, all the requirements were in there. Everything, a standard procurement, the same requirements were listed. I guess the only thing I can say is due to the landscape that we're in right now in terms of contractor availability, I personally called 5 contractors trying to get them all to bid on this. Only 2 submitted quotes. One was
Wait.
$100,000 more than this.
Okay,
And so from a standpoint of, there's also a fair bit of pressure on me to deliver this project, given the mayor's initiative in Homewood, specifically Homewood Avenue.
okay,
I actually, for a while, I thought about delaying this for a year to try and get better prices. But I was told strictly that we need to deliver this year because of the investment in that neighborhood. And that's the best I have to offer you. It's a needed project, but I understand where you're coming from, and you also have a role to play.
I do understand, now that you've explained that part of it, I look at what the contract title is, it does make a little bit more sense that this has been fast tracked to June 1st. Commissioners, do you understand where he's coming from with that?
This is Tracy, yes.
Okay, does that change things for you, Trace? Because it changes things for me a little bit.
It does change things for me a little bit. I still wish that there was, more participation, but I do understand.
Well, and the one thing I will say about Sergeant Electric, in the past, when they've come before us, they have done a great job of participation. So I don't really want to paint the picture that they kind of snub their responsibilities, because they haven't in the past. So if this was a fast track, contract, then I can understand where that didn't give them enough time. Also, with the supply constraints and everything else, I think that's going to hit our smaller businesses, DBEs, which I hate to see that, but it is what it is. I mean, corporation, big time. So, all right. Is there any further questions from the commissioners?
Yeah, I'm curious. This is Jenny. I'm curious what, can you scroll down a little bit? I just don't see the business name there. Okay. So I mean, one thing that I'm considering here too is the fact that like almost 40% of this not super large contract is already being subcontracted.
Yeah.
So if we're looking for minority participation, like the prime winds up with nothing.
Correct. Correct. That's a great point, Jenna, and I didn't even consider it. Thank you for bringing that up as well. Okay, well, with all of that stated, and the representative from Sergeant Electric, thank you for being on this today. I appreciate that as well. I just want to point that out. Can I get a motion?
This is Jenny. I'll move to approve.
Awesome. Can I get a second? Ladies.
This is Tracy. I'll second.
Awesome. Okay. All those in favor indicate by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
This is Commissioner Kramer.
Great. A positive, do we have enough to approve?
Yes.
Tracy
Okay,
McCants-Lewis, aye.
awesome. All right, thank you so much. This motion is approved. This contract moves forward. Thank you. Thanks for going through this process.
No, thank you all. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay,
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
you too. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Okay, this last one is real crazy. Is everybody looking at it? Okay. So Chuck and I met prior to the beginning of this meeting. I'm a little confused. This to me looks like it could be a waiver, but I'm actually going to let Jennifer from the mayor's office talk about it.
From finance.
Oh, from finance.
She's the finance director.
Hey,
Okay,
good afternoon, everyone. So we use a municipal advisor to help us manage the issuance of bonds in order to fund the capital project. As part of that, the municipal advisor actually compiles or comprises a group of underwriters that we contract to sell our bonds. And of that group of underwriters, there are at least 5 minority groups that we actually use as part of the underwriting syndicate, and we have for quite some time. The municipal advisor and the underwriting firms or institutions aren't actually paid from city money. They're actually paid out of the closing costs for the bonds, which are built into when we borrow the closing costs, the cost of issuance, and the actual proceeds. We sell enough bonds to cover all of that, and they get their money at closing. So we don't actually pay them from city funds. So it is a little bit crazy and difficult, but, and the gist of it is that, so.
Well, I don't feel like this needed to come in front of us, to be honest with you. If there's not a value to be placed on it, then, I mean, we have a limit of $50,000 or more that's in a contract that has to come in front of us. And since this doesn't even have a value until down the road, I would assume.
Right. We don't even know. And honestly, the value changes based on the amount of money that we actually borrow and the amount of bonds that they have to sell. But I will tell you that in the past, well, actually over the past 2 years, we have used minority firms as the lead underwriters of our underwriting group. And they actually get usually between 40 and 50% of the bonds to sell, which gives them the largest portion of, you know, their closing costs, which is basically performance-based. So it's like a commission.
And
So
would that be
there's
the
that.
same, would that be the same in this case with the firms that you have listed here?
The firms that are listed are the ones that we have used in the most recent past. They're the ones that we actually used this year and probably in 2021. Siebert Williams was actually the lead underwriter in the issuance we did in 2021. And we used Loop Capital this past year in 2022. Drexel Hamilton was part of an issuance that we did in 2020, but there are 5 that we actually use, and we sort of work it out to where they all get a turn. So this past year we used Loop Capital was the lead underwriter, and one of the co-managers was Ramirez. So Loop, I think, got 40%, 40 to 50%. Ramirez probably got another 10 to 20%. So we exceeded the requirement. And the city itself actually, based on our own needs, we are the ones that actually set the percentages and hire or vote to have them be lead underwriters. Those decisions, even the municipal advisor collects the groups in order, the pool basically that we can choose from. It's finance and budget that actually determines who the underwriting consortium will actually compose of. And we actually get to make the decision as to who will be the lead underwriter and the percentages. So we're basically in charge of our own destiny.
Okay. I'm good with this. I trust you. I'm gonna have to give I'm gonna have to just put good faith towards that everything you're telling me, which why wouldn't it be, is what your intention is here. If there's not a value to the contract, then I really don't feel like it should be brought into this meeting. And I know that you're doing what you felt like you were instructed to do. This is a conversation that you guys could have internally, that Chuck could have. But if there's not, TBD is not, that's not something we can vote on. Do you know what I'm saying? But I feel everything that you've said, sounds great to me. Commissioners, do you have any comments or thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree that I don't think this is something we should be voting on.
So let me ask you this, Chuck. If we just opt to not vote on this, does it go back and you submit a waiver?
Yes, what I'm gonna try to do,
Uh-huh.
since this doesn't come under our purview, but they do need approval from the ERC to continue this.
Oh, they need approval for it to continue. All right. Can I get a motion?
Commissioner Hall makes a motion to approve.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. Can I get a second?
I'll second. This is Jenny.
Okay, great, Jane, thanks. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, perfect. It does pass. In the future, get a waiver if there's not an actual contract value.
But
Okay.
this, let's keep in mind, this is the first time that we had such a contract come. to us.
I know, it's not a scolding. I'm just saying
Okay.
that's, you know,
Yes.
just for sake of keeping it moving. And
Right. Thank you, Director.
thank you. Really
Thank you all.
appreciate
Have a
it.
good afternoon.
Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, just a couple things before Chuck gives his,
ITQs.
oh, ITQs, I'm sorry, I can't see, I can't see anybody. Okay, ITQs, sorry. Apostol, you want to go through the ITQs?
Yes, so good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you all for joining. And just a quick update, there are no votes needed here. There were 4 recent ITQ work orders, 3 from DOMI and 1 from DPW. The first one is the bike plan design assistance. It's going to be, the location is going to be Ellsworth Avenue from Neville Street to Shady Avenue. The prime is Tool Design Group, and they have the prime itself is a WBE. The project cost here is $99,950. This plan has an MBEE Holdings, and they have been allocated $27,308. Moving on to the next one. This is Andover Terrace Slide Remediation. The location is Upper Hill, and the prime here is Dapolonia. There are 3 subs on this. One is a WBE and one is a veteran-owned business. The project cost is $85,130. And this is again a DOMI plan. The third one is the Brule Street landslide remediation. The prime again is Dapolonia. They have 1 MBE tri-state design on it. And the project cost is $77,593, and the MBE will receive $20,665. The last but not the least is public safety station structural assessments. This is a DPW plan, and they will do this assessment for 13 such stations. So those are indicated here, the locations, 13 of them. The prime here is HF Lens Company, and the project cost here is $67,600. So this is a professional services contract. At this point, they are just going to do an assessment. So there are no sub consultants on this yet. So that's it from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now,
Okay, I had a conversation with Kim Dietrich and Renalda from Housing Authority this past week. I think it was Monday. And they were just calling to let me know that they didn't want any of us to think that they weren't coming back or that they weren't interested in participating. They just are doing, you know, there's been some turnover in the department. Excuse me. And they're just letting everything settle, and they're getting organized. And they should be back next month in front of us to present. And probably we'll have quite a few to present because of them not being in front of us for a couple months. So just wanted to relay that message on to you guys, that they still find it very important, and they didn't want us to think that there was something going on other than just a reorganization. And you know, Brandon leaving, he had that position a long time, so they're really just trying to tighten everything up. So now we'll move on to Chuck's comments, manager comments.
yes, I just have a few comments, guys. One, thank you again for being here. And also that 2 names for our commission were sent to council. They'll be voting on them shortly, I think either this week or next week, along with some other commissioner people that was sent up to them. So if that happens, I will let you know the people who will be sitting on our commission. We're looking for 2 males, like I told you guys before. Okay, so.
We got lots of ladies.
Yes, so I will let you know that. And just that our next meeting is on the 16th next month. We're going to still go virtual,
Yeah,
I'm presuming, yes.
I had an appointment downtown, so I figured I'd just walk over.
Right. So, and that's all I have. Any comments from any of you guys?
No, I'm good. How about commissioners?
Good.
Short and sweet one today?
Thank you.
Yeah, especially since half of us are in a car driving. All right, well, I appreciate you guys getting on. It's always great to be able to hit a quorum so that we can keep this moving and make sure that these MBs and WBs and better known businesses are getting these contracts and getting paid. And, you know, if we hold it up, then that holds them up, you know what I mean? So I appreciate it very much. All right, I'll see everybody on the 16th.
Thanks, everybody.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very
Adjourned.
much.
Right, thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.